Yo, what's the deal? What's up with y'all, man? Everybody good? I hope everybody is well. Man, I hope everybody is safe. I hope everybody had a great day. You know what I'm saying? I was just thinking about like topics so I could bring to you guys, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes topics can come from anywhere. The inspiration for doing an episode can come from literally anywhere. But today's topic comes from kind of like how can I put it? Real. I mean, this is a real topic. This is something that we need to address. This is something that we need to fix quickly. So today isn't about these. Not about this guy right here, okay? Not about this today. Not about, you see what it is? It's coming. It's coming. But it's not about this. Nah, it's not about that, man. Today's topic is it's a good one. So if you are new to the channel, welcome. If you are familiar with my humble little channel right here, watch your six, this is me. Welcome home. Come in, relax, comment, subscribe, because there's some good stuff going on over here. Seriously, some really good stuff going on over here. I wanted to kind of like switch topic from the guns, but not really switch topics. For real. We'll switch gears, but not really switch gears for real. But I wanted to get on the topic of gun control and how can we begin to start the dialogue to fix or to help or to put a dent in the mass gun shootings. I think there's a lot of issues. There's a lot of issues that lends itself to the mass shootings and the social climate of today, really. But it really falls under one umbrella. And I don't think that the issue is actually gun control, because we have 20,000 laws concerning gun control. 20,000. I'm not making this up. This is real. This is not some fabricated number I pulled out the sky. No, this is actually real. There are 20,000 gun control laws in the United States today. But I don't think making different laws to penalize the working man or the honest citizen isn't the fix, because you can make all the gun laws you can make all the gun control laws and all of this and all of that, but the criminal don't give a damn about what kind of sanctions or what kind of laws or what kind of restrictions or what kind of bans you put on anything. The criminal don't care. Why would they care? The criminals. So what you're really doing is retarding, you're stifling, you're hindering, you're stopping the average American that pays his taxes, pays her taxes, and does the right things that they're supposed to do. They're legal to carry. They went through all of the necessary hoops and fire hoops. They went through the necessary fire hoops to obtain their firearms and their certifications and whatever the issue is that allows them to be a law-abiding, gun-carrying, to a loving citizen. They have that, but you put a vice on the American citizen, and I mean, I hate to say it, man, but when you put too much pressure on something that's already really volatile, you may have a bad situation come along. I'm not trying to, talk nothing into existence, man. I pray that nothing happens bad like that, but I mean, it just is what it is, man. But I think what really is the underlying issue for the mass shootings and for the issues that are going on in today's society with revolving around handguns is really mental health. I think there's a serious mental health concern and problem going on in the United States. I mean, you have 20,000 gun laws to ban and rear end and rear end reel in to reel in, the citizen and stuff like that, 20,000, but you have 57 million. I'm not making these stats up. 57 million adults suffering from mental illness. I think mental illness is the underlining factor to why a lot of these situations, a lot of these things happen in the United States today. I mean, there's a myriad of different mental disorders. You have bipolarism, you have schizophrenia, you have depression, which is a huge one. And I know these things. I have a master's in human services and counseling, so with a concentration in counseling, but I have a master's in human services. So going through human services, we have to go through the gambit of mental disorders so we can help so not necessarily diagnose, but we can help and aid in treatment. We may do one-on-one consultations. We may do peer-to-peer. We may do, there's a lot of different techniques that we can use to help individuals that are suffering from mental disorders. But I think depression is a main, besides schizophrenia is up there too. But I think depression and bipolarism can kind of, if you're not focused on it, it kind of like blends itself almost into one. And people use the terminology interchangeably. They kind of like, they use the word wrong. So they may say something like, I'll give you an example. Because having depression and being depressed are two different things. Depression is a feeling that, depression isn't a feeling. It's an actual mental disorder. It's a mental disorder that constantly clouds your judgment. It constantly, it makes you feel super melancholy. I mean, the ultimate in melancholy, the most intense sadness, the most intense despair, the most intense thoughts of just hopelessness. That's depression. And you have that every single day, constantly. For at least, if you are experiencing these kind of feelings for at least 2 weeks, you really should get diagnosed. You really should get some treatment. You really should have somebody talk to you about what you're feeling, because you need to get it off your chest. You literally need to get it off your chest, because depression has a very sneaky way in being destructive to the individual who is going through that disorder. And it can be self-destructive, which means they could want to harm themselves in drastic ways. And it may manifest itself in suicide talk, or writing something out, writing your feelings out, and then tucking them away. But if you write your feelings out and you tuck them away, nobody's going to be able to see it. Nobody's going to be able to help you. So if you're in a situation when you're in dire straits to the point where you are thinking of harming yourself, you really should seek help. Don't be ashamed of it. Seek help. Ask for help. Reach out to somebody. Pray. You can do all of that. But don't keep it bottled in, because that is a situation that is, like I said in the beginning, it's a very volatile environment, which means if you keep putting pressure on it and pressing it down, eventually it explodes. And it could explode in you harming yourself. It could explode in you harming somebody. And that's what I really wanted to get to, because depression not only affects you, but it could get to the point where it's so severe where you start having feelings of hurting somebody else, somebody who has absolutely nothing to do with your situation, but the overwhelming weight of despair is on your shoulders 24/7, and you can't get rid of it. That's when you need to talk to somebody. That's depression. Being depressed is often misunderstood. Being depressed is misunderstood. Being depressed is you're basically sad when you're depressed. It's not depression. You're depressed. You're sad about a particular situation or a particular event that happened to you, and eventually it fades away with your day. You may recall it, but it's not to the point where it's not as intense as a feeling of depression, of having the disorder of depression is. It's not that intense. It's something like okay, prime example. I'm not sure how old people are out there, but I'm pretty sure you've seen the Disney movie. You've seen the Disney movie. Disney movies always start off with some type of, the majority of them, they always start off with some type of tragedy. Mufasa died. Bambi's mom was shot, which was crazy dramatic for back in the day. But when you seen that image, you were melancholy, you were sad, and as the movie progressed, you kind of you didn't forget, but you kind of let it go. And then, things progressed, and Mufasa came back and he talked to him from the clouds, and, but it's temporary is what I'm saying. Being depressed is temporary. Depression is a mental disorder. So, if you're a parent, or you are a brother, or you're a sister, or you're a father, or you're a mother, and you see these behaviors in your significant other, you see these behaviors in your son or in your daughter, you see your son or your daughter walking around in a ski mask and it's June, it's 90 degrees outside. You see his habits change. You see his clothes change. You see his demeanor changes. That's something that you should say something. See, the thing about it is, if we ever want to stop or put a dent in mass shootings or shootings that involve, a mass shooting is categorized as a shooting that involves 3 or more people. That's a mass shooting. So almost in the hood, you almost have a mass shooting like almost every other day. But not to downsize it, but that's what they categorize it as. So if you see changes in your child's behavior, they're quiet, they're becoming more closed. They're not as open. They're not as receptive to you. Hey, son, hey, daughter, come here, give me a hug. Hey, they don't feel that anymore. You see you may get a glimpse of their friends. You may smell something on their clothes. You may smell, it's just a change. For us to make a dent in the gun violence, people have to open their mouth. Damn it, you have to open your mouth. You have to let somebody know what's going on. It doesn't necessarily have to be the police. It could be your uncle. It could be a cousin. It could be an aunt. Girl, get over here. What you doing wearing that? It could be anything like that. It don't necessarily have to be the police. That's not the be all to end all. But you want to let that individual know, hey, I see a change in you. I love you. I see a change in you. And I would like to, let's start a dialogue. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, because the flip side of that is if you don't talk about it and you find the documentation under somebody's bed, or somebody's doing research on them online, and they pull up some type of manifesto, when you could have thwarted that off, you could have quelled that issue way before. At least put a dent in their behavior, at least put a halt to their behavior. You could have saved lives. Who knows what they could have done unless you read that manifesto? But you have to speak up. You can't see it and hope that it goes away, because it ain't. It's not going to go away, because that person is dealing with something inside of them that they can't get out. They don't know how to express it. Nobody's come to them and said, hey, let me give you a hand, man. Let me help you. Let me talk to you about this. Hey, let's pray. Nobody's come to them like that. So what do? They bottle it up and they keep it down and they keep it down and they keep it down, and then boom. If it's not guns, it'd be a knife. If it's not a knife, it'd be a brick. If it's not a brick, it'd be a pipe. It's going to be something. If they feel to the point where their emotion and their mental state is closing in on them, that they feel like they need to lash out. But you've seen a change in their behavior. You could have talked to them. You could have talked to them. You could have let them know, hey, I'm here. Let's talk about this. Depression is very, very sneaky, and it brings out a side of people that they may have never known was there because they've never felt that kind of despair before. You get what I'm saying? It's a difference when you feel an overwhelming weight of, hey, I gotta pick up my child from school. I gotta go and maybe pick up something for dinner. I got to figure out what we're going to have for dinner. I got to pay these bills, or I got to go to work, or I got to make sure homework is done, or, all of these things that we do in a day. Somebody with depression, it's completely overwhelming. It's heavy. Their body feels heavy. You know what I'm saying? And it's a mental thing. Their body feels heavy. Their movements are listless. They just hear. Now, sometimes they have the strength and they have the strength to reach out and ask somebody for help. But sometimes you have to be brave enough to open your mouth. Mom, open your mouth. Dad, open your mouth. Nobody's going to talk. Nobody's going to talk about you because you're a father and you see your son outside and he's going wayward. Nobody's going to talk about you if you see that your son is interested in buying rifles, or, you know what I'm saying, and he's just becoming of age and he's interested in buying rifles, or he's interested in firearms, and you see that it's not geared toward military, or it's not geared toward law enforcement or anything like that. Start a dialogue just to be sure. You're not infringing. Me personally, as a parent, I used to go in my kids' room often, and I'm going through their stuff. I'm going through their books. I'm going through papers and all that stuff like that. I'm going through that stuff because I don't want to be caught off guard. Off guard meaning, I'm sorry, such and such, can you come down and identify? You don't want that call. So what you can do is start a dialogue. Open your mouth. You have to open your mouth. That's the way. You want to stop mass shootings? Address the issue with mental health and build a campaign or an incentive for parents, for family members to open their mouth and let people know. Well, not let people know, but let that individual know, hey, I'm here for you. Let's talk this out. Because if I see it, I can address it. If I see it and I act like I don't see it, well, now you got an issue. You got an issue coming. And I'm not sure, you know what I'm saying? I pray to God that none of my people out there, man, have that issue. I pray to God that you guys are brave enough to address that particular family member, because it's a lot of them. Man, that are tucked away. They tucked away, man. People are seeing this people see it online, and they may type something crazy. Hey, man, look, reach out to that brother. Send him a DM. Send him a message. If you know him, go talk to him. See what's up. Or they're going to be on the news. You don't want them on the news, man. Seriously, you really don't want them on the news, man. Seriously, man. People need to open up their mouths. Family members, significant others, man, you need to open up your mouth, and you need to either, if it's bad to the point where you're scared to have an individual in your house, then what makes you think that individual is going to be productive outside? If you're scared to have this bastard in your house because you don't know their movements, they're coming in and out all types of the night. You smell weed. You know what I'm saying? You see changes. That ain't your child. That ain't your child. Praying? Yes, absolutely pray. Absolutely. I'm a strong advocate in asking for help or asking for strength from my Lord and Savior. I'm a strong advocate of that. Seriously. Prayer will bring you out of anything. But you have to start. You have to recognize that you see the problem. You know what I'm saying? You have to recognize that you see the problem. You can't turn a blind eye. You get what I'm saying? Too many people on the news, man. Too many moms on the news, man, is crying because their son did this or they lost their son or, you know what I'm saying? Stupid stuff. When it could have been avoided with a simple conversation. A simple conversation. Whether you stop it for the moment or you stop it for the duration, it could have been thwarted. It could have been quelled. You could have got a lid on it a little bit. But yeah, man, if you are thinking about hurting yourself, man, in any kind of way, if you are thinking about hurting someone in any kind of way, reach out. I leave my email underneath every single episode that I film. If you can't reach out to nobody, reach out to me. I'm here. No problem. We can talk. We can talk. We can start a dialogue. Start the dialogue with me. You feel like something is wrong, something is overwhelmingly pressing down on you, talk to me. And talk to him. Not sure whether you know how to pray, but it's real easy. It ain't all about wherefore art thou this and thou that. Nah. Talk to him. Same way I'm talking to you, you can talk to him. Don't curse. That's disrespectful. If you're going to pray, don't curse. You can't curse if you're going to pray. That's kind of like a rule of being respectful to God. You know what I'm saying? You can't curse. But he'll understand you. He'll understand you. He's waiting for you to reach out to him so he can pull you close. All you got to do is reach your hand out a little bit and he'll grip you close like the Matrix. Like, he'll grip you close. You have to reach out. You have to open your mouth. Nobody knows what's going on with you if we can't hear from you. That's where the braveness comes from. You got to have the courage. You got to be brave enough to do it. You have to be. You have to be. I don't know if you know this guy up here. One of my all-time, oh man, I love this guy. Literally my brother. I love this guy. Yeah. Super dope wrestler. Crazy dope wrestler. That's my guy. That's my guy. That's my guy. But yeah, man. We're gonna wrap it up, man. We're gonna wrap it up because you know what I'm saying, your boy gets I get swept away. So next time we'll talk about this. Alexa, nobody called you. But we'll talk about this next time, okay? I should have an optic on it next time. But yeah, man, we're gonna wrap it up. Open your mouth. Open your mouth, okay? Talk to somebody. Hit somebody up. Pray. Before you do that, whoever's out there, I don't know who I'm talking to. I don't know why this is on my heart. Whoever's out there, if you're thinking about doing something, don't. It's not that bad. It's really not that bad, okay? I don't care if you lost your job. I don't care if your kids ran away or your ex got your kids or you don't have no money, you don't have no place to live. Don't lash out on yourself. Don't lash out on anybody. Take a minute. Take a minute. Take a minute. Because a simple conversation with somebody could change your life, man. It could change your life. Yo, I love y'all out there. Seriously, I love y'all. If you're dealing with a mental illness, please seek some help. In whatever form it is, please seek some help. Okay? Because you're way more important here than not. I love y'all. Peace.